Peace, family. Here we are, a few days removed from Donald Trump, a sitting president of the United States, stood in front of hundreds of admirals and generals after renaming the Department of Defense to the Department of War, instructing these admirals and generals to try out these new aggressive tactics that justify this name change on domestic cities and states. And like I say, this election was never about the people. It was all about the person, Donald Trump. This guy's going after political rivals, people who he don't like, Democratic cities and states, black mayors. It's all about him. And it's getting to the point now that people are crying out for help. They are so frustrated with what's going on. They're watching ICE agents come into their communities, taking the elderly out of the homes, taking the children out of the homes, snatching people out the cars from the place of work, deporting them. You don't know when you're going to see these people again. And now they're crying out for help. Well, before you can get help, we have to take an assessment of not only where we are, but how did we get here? It's not about what can we do now. It's also about what we should have been doing. And what we should have been doing was building for ourselves, our own independent means to sustain our own existence. And because we have not been about the business of securing our business, we are vulnerable to every economic, political, judicial, industrial tactic that these people can use to undergird and take away our liberties, rights, and freedoms. And see, being frustrated is one thing, but exactly how frustrated are you? If you are so frustrated to the point that you still want to, at the end of your frustration, have all the problems that you was facing before still in the hands of the people who applied them, then what's the point? If your frustration does not push you to change, a change of economics, a change of political leadership, a change of industrial independence, a change in who governs over you, then what's the point of being frustrated? This country is 249 years old, and they just elected a felon as president of the United States. Not only a felon, but somebody that was convicted of sexual assault, who has no respect for women, who has cheated on every wife that he ever had. So this guy has problems with not only making commitments, but keeping them. If it has to get worse than what it is right now, we not be able to be around to do anything about it. So if your frustration doesn't open your mind and open your eyes to having new leadership, a new way of life, a new governing system to guide our people, then what's the point of being frustrated? We got to be open-minded about building for ourselves, our own economics, to give us an economic base to stand on, our own educational system so we can educate our own children, our own hospitals so we can provide for our own health, our own business and industry so we can employ, promote, and celebrate our own people. And the ability to govern our own affairs, our own farms to feed our people. We cannot come out of this state of frustration lacking in any one of these provisions that I just mentioned. Because if we fail in one, it threatens the rest of them. We have got to be open-minded about the possibility of removing ourselves from this black rule over, or this white rule over black people. And we got to be open-minded to the possibilities of black people ruling over black people. Because see, the fact of the matter is this: blacks can never rule over whites. And why is that? Because whites have their own independent means to sustain their own existence. There's nobody white dependent on anybody black for anything. But when white people rule over their own way of life, it's one thing. The problem is white people rule over black independence as well. Every time we eat, we drink, we look to be celebrated, we look to be employed, paid, promoted, our health, whatever. We have to go to somebody white for that. This has to stop. It's not going to get any better. This, like I say, this country just elected a felon. At 249 years, this country is. And this is their decision-making process. Like I say, it's not going to get no better than this. Nobody's going to provide for our people like we're going to provide for our people. This is why I'm glad to see this frustration taking place. And why is that? Because I have my own social movement organization, Citizens of the African Order, LLC. It is not a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And why is that? Because I believe in systemic racism. And I don't believe that any civil rights organization should tie themselves to a 501c3, which means you are working in collaboration with the same government that's oppressing your people. My organization operates outside the boundaries and thought process of this government. It offers us an opportunity to create a systemic solution for our systemic problem. For everything that we're suffering from, economics, our politics, our businesses, our industries, our institutions, we're going to create alternatives for our people. But the thing is, I can't do it by myself. I need your frustration to lead you to a way for you to be open-minded about black people having control over their own existence. And this is where you're going to find it. And let me say this. This country has never loved you. As a matter of fact, I can honestly say it never really liked you. You name me one government-supported 501c3 that they use to make life better for the people that they serve, that this government adopted, scaled, so that they can now provide these protections for the vast majority of people in this country. They have not. None of them have. Even when you look at St. Jude Hospital, which is a 501c3, they have no cost care for cancer. Look at how much they're charging people for medical care now. If this government not only loved you, but if it just liked you, you would think that they would try to say, well, look what St. Jude is doing for free for their base. What can we do to at least meet them halfway? They do nothing. There isn't hundreds of St. Jude hospitals or hundreds of government-sponsored hospitals where you can go get free medical care. This is why Citizens of the African Order, LLC, operates outside of the boundaries of this country. So we can have independent means to sustain our own existence. So we don't have to rely on no oppressive government to permit us on how we do business for our people. So if your frustration is getting to the point where you want to look for an option, an alternative that's going to put permanent control of our interests in the hands of somebody who knows what to do with it, then follow my page. Go to my YouTube channel, Citizens of the African Order. Everything is going to be laid out for you there. And like I say, I too am frustrated with this system. This is why I put the time, the effort, the resources, the energy into creating this organization. And my motive is not just for me. It is for my people. So I'm in this message here. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Ashe.